Welcome to Golden Rule Wisdom, where we explore the profound journeys of individuals who transform their deepest struggles into lasting strength. Meet Ravi, a 27-year-old man who believed he was destined for failure because every project he touched eventually collapsed. He felt the heavy weight of the world crushing his fragile shoulders daily, convinced that he was simply not good enough. His first attempt at selling handmade crafts ended in disaster, leaving him with boxes of unsold inventory and a broken heart. He then chased his dream job at a top company, only to face a harsh rejection that shattered his professional confidence. Undeterred, he built a food delivery application, but it failed to gain a single user, deepening his sense of absolute worthlessness. Ravi fell into a spiral of self-doubt, convinced that the universe was conspiring against him and that he should just quit. He walked through the busy streets, feeling invisible, watching others succeed while he remained stuck in a cycle of endless defeat. Seeking escape, he entered a quiet coffee shop, hoping to drown his sorrows in a cup of bitter black coffee alone. At the next table sat Rahul, a successful man who radiated a calm confidence that immediately caught Ravi's weary, wandering eyes. A clumsy moment caused Ravi to spill his drink, but Rahul kindly helped him, sparking a conversation that would change everything. Ravi hesitated at first, but soon found himself pouring out his frustrations to this stranger who seemed to understand his pain. He confessed that he felt like a total failure, listing every project that had crumbled to dust despite his best efforts. Rahul listened quietly until Ravi finished. Then he leaned forward and shared a shocking truth about his own journey to success. He revealed that before his current success, he had failed at 7 different businesses, losing money and pride time and again. Ravi was stunned to learn that the man he admired had failed more times than he had ever dared to try. It was only on his 8th attempt that things finally clicked, proving that persistence is the true key to unlocking victory. Rahul opened his notebook to show Ravi that he did not record his failures, but rather the lessons he had collected. He explained that most people think the path to success is a straight line, but that is a dangerous and false illusion. Real success looks like a jagged line, full of ups and downs, yet always trending upward if you keep moving forward. He pointed to the low points and said that failure only happens when you stop moving, otherwise it is just data. Ravi began to see his past not as a graveyard of dreams, but as a library of lessons waiting to be read. Rahul handed him a pen and told him that the lesson is when something fails, but you learn how to improve. For the first time in years, Ravi felt a spark of hope ignite within his chest, replacing the cold darkness of despair. He returned home with a new mission, clearing his cluttered desk to make space for a fresh perspective on his life. He opened a fresh notebook and wrote a title that would define his future, turning his focus from failure to learning. He listed his failed craft business and noted that he learned the vital importance of researching the market before making products. Next, he analyzed his job rejection, realizing that his interview skills needed polishing and that confidence matters more than raw talent. He looked at his failed app and understood that building a product without a marketing plan is like winking in the dark. Instead of feeling shame, Ravi felt empowered, seeing his past mistakes as valuable data points that would guide his next steps. He transformed his wall into a strategic board, organizing his lessons into a coherent plan for his next big entrepreneurial venture. Ravi immersed himself in study, devouring books on business and psychology to fill the gaps in his knowledge he had identified. He attended online workshops, eager to learn from experts, no longer afraid to admit what he did not yet know. With a growth mindset, he began sketching a new project, prioritizing the customer's needs before focusing on the product's features. He stepped out of his comfort zone, interviewing strangers to validate his ideas, ensuring he was solving a real problem. When people rejected him, he simply smiled and recorded it as data, no longer taking the negativity as a personal attack. Back at the coffee shop, he worked with focus, earning a silent nod of approval from Rahul, who watched from afar. The day came to launch the beta version of his new product, and Ravi pressed the button with a steady hand. Feedback started pouring in, a mix of praise and criticism, and Ravi welcomed it all as fuel for his continuous improvement. He personally called dissatisfied customers not to argue, but to understand their experience and how he could make it better. Night after night, he tweaked and refined his product, turning every complaint into a feature that added value to his users. Slowly but surely, the numbers began to climb, not in a vertical spike, but in a sustainable upward trend of growth. 6 months later, Ravi sat on the other side of the desk, interviewing his first employee with confidence and empathy. He taught his team that mistakes were allowed as long as they were new mistakes, and that lessons were always captured. 9 months into the journey, his small startup was thriving, buzzing with the energy of people who believed in the vision. Ravi met Rahul again at the coffee shop, not as a desperate failure, but as a peer who had earned his stripes. He showed Rahul his notebook, now filled with hundreds of lessons that had paved the jagged path to his current success. Ravi had changed from a boy who feared failure into a man who embraced challenges as opportunities to grow stronger. The transformation was not magic, it was a shift in mindset that turned his stumbling blocks into stepping stones for greatness. He looked out at the city that once intimidated him, now realizing that he had a place within its vibrant pulse. Ravi finally understood the golden rule. Failure is final only when you stop trying to learn from your experiences. A lesson is simply the realization that something did not work, guiding you to find a better way the next time. Success is never a straight line. It is a messy, jagged journey that requires resilience, patience, and an open mind. Ravi now shares his story with others, inspiring them to see their own setbacks not as endings, but as beginnings. The cycle continued as a young entrepreneur approached Ravi, asking how he managed to succeed despite so many overwhelming odds. Ravi smiled, handed over a blank notebook, and told him to start collecting lessons instead of counting his failures. The philosophy of collecting lessons spread, helping many others break free from the paralyzing fear of making mistakes in life. Your life is a book being written every day, and the difficult chapters are often the ones that define the plot. Every sunrise offers a new chance to try again, to apply what you learned yesterday and move one step closer. True success is not just about money, it is about becoming the person who is capable of overcoming any obstacle. Rahul watched his student thrive, proving that wisdom is the only asset that grows when you give it away freely. Celebrate the small wins along the way, for they are the fuel that keeps you moving through the jagged lines. There will always be new challenges and new failures, but Ravi now knows they are simply new lessons to collect. This is the essence of the growth mindset, believing that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Your brain is like a muscle that gets stronger with use, and every difficult problem is a workout for your mind. Don't let the fear of failure define who you are. Let the courage to learn define who you will become. Persistence, learning, and adaptability are the 3 pillars that will support your dreams when the world tries to knock them down. Share your lessons with the world, because your story of overcoming failure might be the survival guide someone else needs. We rise by lifting others, and the wisdom we gain from our struggles is the most powerful gift we can give. As Ravi closes his laptop, he knows that the journey is far from over, but he is ready for anything. Remember that you are not a finished product, you are a work in progress, constantly evolving towards a better version. Start collecting your lessons today. Write them down, cherish them, and let them guide you to your own version of success. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery and growth. We hope Ravi's story has ignited a fire within. If you found value in this video, please share it with a friend who might need a little encouragement today. This is Golden Rule Wisdom signing off, reminding you that your greatest lesson is just one failure away. See you soon.